Hey all my friends, welcome you all to the fourth video of my career, of course, as a video blogger or whatever that we call it. So, like in the last video, I promised that I'll be coming up with some to talk about how exactly we should be beginning our day and how we should be concluding our day. I'm talking about the professional time that we spend at our workplace, be it a job, be it our businesses. And this is nowadays kind of big ask, just getting up early in the morning and then getting ready and then putting yourself together, because all of us normally we feel shattered. Normally we feel shattered in the morning, and we are not actually 100% physically, I won't say physically, but yeah, mentally we're not that much fit, and we are kind of just dreaming about it that, okay, maybe somebody gives me a call and tells me just to stay at home and I could just extend my sleep for a little while. This is all because we have extended our waking hours. We don't go to bed early because if you could just think about it 10-20 years from now, in the past, a couple of decades ago, we all used to go to bed by 10 p.m. I'm talking about. Late in the evening, we'll be just going and searching for sleep. We'll be rather, I would say, by 9:30. I personally used to be dozing off. I need my bed. I need to be there. Now, because of the gadgets and technology that has basically come up with an easy access to all what was actually with the option of a computer, by then slow internet, bigger computers, slow computers, and moreover it was very difficult to bring your computers to your bed and then spend time over there. So if you were at computer, you were working. If you were at bed, you were sleeping. Now you have mobile phones, you have other options of these sort of technological gadgets that you can just have with yourself even while you're lying. And as soon as you're just trying to doze off, some message pops up, a tingling, and another hour goes out in the smoke. So we'll be talking about it in the next video, of course, but now is the time how you're going to begin your day. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of psychology involved. How do we begin our day? You know what? It's so sacred. I personally am a professional myself, okay? I'm into 11th year of my professional career. I've been into industries. I've been into academic institutions as well for the past 4 years. I'm into an academic institution, of course, but I've been more of an administrator instead of a teacher, so assuming different positions over there, administrative positions. And you know what? All of the friends who are basically part of the management side, be it any industry, be it education, be it textile, be it any industry, telecom, banking, especially banking, of course, but they know it, that administration, it is basically, it sucks your soul out of you. An administrator can never ever dream of having free time. Mentally, I'm talking about. Physically, yeah, you might be playing games, you might be hanging out with your family and whatever, with your colleagues, but all the times you are mentally occupied and you're always trying to find some ways out to just give way to your stress and all that cloudiness that you have in your brain, and you want to clear your mind. You want to go to northern areas if you're in Pakistan to be there, but even if you're spending like 3-4 days over there and still you're not satisfied, and you come back and you go back to your offices again. So we need to be preventive. We need to go for prevention first, okay? You know what? Getting up and going to your office and joining your office is basically more of a sacred, it's a very sacred activity. It's a very important activity of your day, okay? When you get up, when you get freshened up, when you get changed up, all suited, when you take your breakfast. First of all, there's a big problem with many other people nowadays. Nowadays people skip their breakfast. Why? Because they're always in a rush, okay? Why? Because they don't allow themselves this what I would call liberty of chewing their food, taking their time, enjoying their breakfast, adding calories, because you have to spend almost 9-10 hours over there. And now is most of the population that I've come across, even I was myself 3 years from now, I never used to take breakfast, and I was always in a kind of rush. So this is why, because we don't manage our time initially, okay? You know what, first things first. If your office is starting at 9, it doesn't really mean that you can reach your office by 8:59 and you will be okay. No. 9 means that you're actually going to initiate with your official tasks. Either you're going to resume an assignment or you're going to assume an assignment. Whatever it is, you're going to start. If my office, if my administration, if my management tells me that the timing is from 9 to 5, it means that the work hours are from 9 to 5, not that I should be physically over there, it doesn't mean that I can be there by 8:59 and that'll be all right, okay? It is not the cut-off time to reach. It is the cut-off time to start your day. And this is the biggest mistake normally we commit. We confuse the time of beginning our job by confusing it with the time of reaching our office, which doesn't allow us the liberty to go over there, sink everything in, because you're physically over there, you're not mentally over there. You enjoy the liberty which you might not enjoy at your office. Okay, at family, you can even tell any family member to bring a glass of water, but maybe you have to make a cup of tea yourself in the office. Then you are in a very limited environment. You cannot enjoy a lot of space over there. There is no you, by the way, in your office. It's all about the designation that you're holding. People are coming in, you're going to the other people, you're attending meetings, you're chairing meetings, you're being part of the meeting. Sometimes you're just asking somebody to brief something to you. Sometimes you're briefing it. So it's no you at all in your office. It's all about your work. It's all about your designation. So when you go back home, actually what happens is that now you believe that I am the man in command, okay, or the lady in command. I can take my own decisions, okay. And any professional, when she goes to home, when she gets back to home, and now she believes that, okay, I don't have limitations. I don't have to actually keep on maintaining the decorum, the persona that I have to have, the professional persona, and she relaxes. Every manager does, all right? Every person, every employee does, of course. So when you reach at the time of starting of your work, you actually have stolen yourself of those viable 15 to 20 minutes at least, which will help you actually to bring yourself mentally from your comfort zone to this hectic zone as well, where it's no you. You have to actually subjugate yourself in a cell. You have to actually negate yourself. This is what job is. This is what the workplace is. This is what the earning is, that you have to subjugate your personality, your person, and you have to assume a charge. Say for deputy director administration, you might be an executive somewhere, you might be the chief executive, you might be customer services manager, you might be anybody. So actually in those 9 hours in that particular place, you're not you. You're not Hanan Iftikhar. You're either assistant professor, you're teaching, or you're either deputy director administration, you're doing your administrative tasks. There is no you at all until you're out of the office. Okay, so this is something that we steal ourselves from. We actually don't allow ourselves to mingle in with the situation. We don't realize that it is not just about being physically at that particular place where I work. It is basically to be there mentally as well. And what we do, if I believe that I need to be at my office by 9, what will I do? I'll get up at 8. Okay, I'll get up at 8. Then I'll rush. I'll skip my breakfast. I'll drive the car fast, which actually increases the chances of accidents, which means that I am putting myself and others prone to accidents, unlikely accidents. Okay, I'm getting way more vulnerable. All right, if you have to drive for, say, I have to take a drive for 14 kilometers every day, up and down. So it's almost 30 kilometers of distance that I cover as far as going to office and coming back to my home is concerned. So what I'm doing, if I'm getting early and I'm pushing on the gas pedal and I'm just rushing to my office, what I'm doing is I'm actually accident prone, way more accident prone, and my life is at a lot more risk. Number one. Number two, my brain is constantly pumping in that you're going to get late. It is making you feel guilty already, and you have to spend 9 hours with people, with work, with loads of assignment, loads of things that you have to explain, loads of explaining to do to other people, to guide people, and you're already being felt guilty by your brain. It's pumping you in that you're late. Actually, it's telling you it's a bad day, mate. All right. So you reach your office by, say, 8:55, and you have an important meeting at 9, or you have an important class at 9, whatever you're in the industry you're from. And when you go over there, you put your bag over there, you start making phone calls, and now actually you don't have any idea where you are. And I know the people who are passing through this phenomenon, who are basically part of this practice, rushing to office, they know what I'm talking about. You don't know for the first 2 hours what decisions you are taking, why you're taking, and I bet over it, ladies and gentlemen, you can take a look at the people around you and yourself. 90% of the wrong decisions that we take are taken in the first few hours of our office. Okay, are taken in the first hour of our office. Okay, this is why the gurus, the professionals, they actually discourage taking any strategic assignment on hands in the first 3 hours of your office. The best time to do that is from 11 to 2. 11 a.m. to lunch break. 2 hours. That's basically the time that you can have some time to think over and you can plan something. What we do is we are coming in, we are not mingling in, we are not telling our brain, hey, come on, switch on you have to turn on few switches and turn off few switches. No, that's okay. And what's happening, in the same mindset as you stay at your home, you're in your office. And your home is more comfortable. Your home is where you can make mistakes, where there's nobody to actually tell you why did you do that. But with the same mindset, when you start working in your office, you start committing mistakes. You keep on repeating those mistakes, and ultimately your performance suffers, and you're actually always in the gray list instead of the gold list. All right. So the people who are suffering from it, who have made up this habit, they realize it. Okay. So the time of starting the office means that it is the time to start your work, not the time to reach. So if your office starts at 9, if your job starts at 9, it's very important that you should schedule yourself and your calculation of your distance you are going to travel, the time you're going to get up from your bed to your office, to the chair you are going to sit on for the next 9 hours or so. You must be at least 20 minutes in advance to your starting time. 20 minutes. So if you believe that your starting time is 9, you must know that your office, the time to reach at your office is basically 8:40 tops. So you plan your self according. You plan your sleep accordingly. You plan your the time to get up accordingly. You have to take breakfast. You have to take breakfast. You don't know, if you miss on those calories, you're actually suffering with your performance. Of course, you know what? All day long, you have to move. You have to keep on reasoning with people, arguing with people. It takes a lot of effort. 90% of the water that we have, actually 70% of the water that we have in our body is basically with the brain. Okay, and our brain basically is the core of the whole body of this whole person. Okay, and it works on calories. It works on energy. If I'm not giving it the required energy, it is not going to perform well. And if it is not going to perform well, I won't be able to take the right decisions. And if I won't be able to take the right decisions, certainly my performance will suffer. So will the organization, and I won't be coming up with the next, what I would call a promotion or whatever we call it. So I've seen people, I've had a word with the people who claim that we keep on putting our efforts in. Still we are unnoticed. Now you know the reason why you are unnoticed. Why? Because the transitional time from your bed to your chair is the key to success throughout the day. You must realize that the time of starting of the office means the time you're going to get yourself practically involved in your office work. And you need to be at your office physically at least 20 minutes in advance. And you will see your wonders happening around. Okay, like the discussion that I had about the book, I will be having the whole discussion about how exactly should we be coming to our office and leaving our office. This is going to be a 3-part discussion as well. 3 different videos will be on this chapter. So for now, this is what we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. You have to understand the difference between the starting of the time of the office and the time you need to reach. And then you have to manage yourself. And you have to realize that this is an important assignment of the day to never skip your breakfast. Please don't skip your breakfast. Please never do it. You don't know what are the repercussions of all this. You don't know your brain is basically being eaten alive. Okay? It's being burnt. It's practically being burnt. Why? Because it needs the energy. And if it doesn't get the energy, you know how an engine works if it doesn't get the fuel. So for now, in this video, we are going to have 2 major things that we need to work on. Number 1 is we need to realize that we have to give ourselves the liberty to enjoy our starting of the day. The transition from bed to chair has to be very smooth. And number 2, we are not going to skip breakfast from now on. I'll continue coming up with more suggestions on this topic in the next video. Thank you very much for bearing with me. Have a good day ahead. I'm signing off.